Hey, what up, guys? I got a quick review here for Vinegar Syndrome's Liquid Sky. It came out late last year, I think around October of last year, and it kind of piqued my interest, but I just never picked it up for some reason. But I was at Grindhouse Video and saw it on the shelf and figured it was the time to pick it up. Pretty much because I'll pick up anything by Vinegar Syndrome just because their transfers I think are the best. I think they rival Criterion, actually, as far as transfers go. I've never seen a Vinegar Syndrome movie that looked really bad. So, and this is no exception either, because this one looks amazing picture-wise. But I'll get to that in a minute. Essentially, this movie, it was filmed in '82, and I guess it was like the top-grossing independent movie of 1982. And it played at like a bunch of midnight screenings and stuff for like 5 years and stuff. It was a big cult movie. But Anne Carlisle, the main girl on the cover here, she basically plays like a dual role of this main girl. I don't remember her name off the top of my head, the character's name. Margaret, yeah. And she also plays like her arch nemesis, Jimmy. And she does a really good job at playing both a male and a female. But anyway, she's like a model in this like new wave. I wouldn't call it punk. It's more like new wave, like The Cure and Boy George, and stuff like that kind of look, you know what I mean? And she's in New York. There's a lot of good establishing shots in New York. You see the Twin Towers a lot, stuff like that. So it's cool to see all that. But essentially, she's a model who's addicted to drugs and sex and all that. And there's these aliens that come down and basically park on her roof. It's like a little flying saucer thing, and it parks on a roof, and they want to get high. And they realize that the endorphins that are let out or whatever when this Margaret girl orgasms or whatever, the endorphins get these aliens high. So basically, everybody she has sex with, the dude ends up dying because of these aliens. It sounds really kooky, but it's not as weird as it actually sounds. It's done in a real tasteful way. You don't really see the aliens. It's like it's done in like an 80s art house way. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole movie. She's having sex with these people, and the dudes end up dying. And she has this roommate woman that's crazy, and she has some good music or whatever in it too. But you know, and there's this big climax at the end and stuff. I don't want to give anything away, but it's a really interesting movie. This movie's 112 minutes, and it kind of breezes by. I was expecting this to drag on a little bit, but it actually kept my interest throughout the whole entire, pretty much 2-hour runtime, which is strange because most 2-hour movies, you know what I mean, I always feel like they could have trimmed some, but there's nothing in this movie I felt like they should have trimmed. It was I don't know, it's a really bizarre movie in that way. I had a good time the whole 2 hours. The only gripe I have about the movie is the editing is choppy in some ways, and since the girl's playing two roles, the camera always changes from when she's talking, you'll see the back of Jimmy's head, then when Jimmy's talking, you'll see the back of Margaret's head. So it's definitely, the editing's a little choppy, but just the experimental originality and stuff is just really cool, really interesting in this. There's just something mesmerizing kind of about the Anne Carlisle girl, just the way she talks. It's almost like robotic, but it's not. There's just something kind of mesmerizing about her. I don't know, you really grow to like her throughout the movie, and I wasn't really expecting that. Now, the visuals in this movie, though, is where this movie really stands out. There's some really interesting visuals, really kind of creepy visuals. Especially there's like this face on the wall in her apartment that's really creepy looking, and they do close-ups of it a lot, and it's just really bizarre. There's lots of neon glow. If you ever heard of the Club Kids back in the 90s and stuff, this has a really Club Kid type vibe. But it's just really interesting to look at. Now, the transfer looked amazing. I've never seen the movie before. I think it was like actually like impossible to get before on DVD and stuff like that. But yeah, visually it looked amazing. The transfer looked stunning. I give them major props on the transfer. And special features has newly scanned and restored in 4K. Commentary track with the director, interview with the director, interview with Anne Carlisle, who was the main actress, director's introduction, Liquid Sky Revisited, a 2017 documentary on the making of, Q&A from a 2017 Alamo Drafthouse screening with the director and Anne Carlisle and the composer. There's the isolated soundtrack, never before seen outtakes, alternate opening sequence, behind the scenes rehearsal footage, multiple trailers, and reversible cover art. And I have the reversible art here just because I think it fits the movie better. Show you the other one real quick. But that's the art Vinegar Syndrome did, which is cool art, but I just think the original art's a little better. Yeah, but there's not much more I can really say about it. I definitely recommend it if you're a fan of, I'd say, Blade Runner, the movie Under the Skin with Scarlett Johansson about the alien luring the dudes in. It's comparable to that. And yeah, it's just a really interesting movie. It pretty much encapsulates 80s grime New York, kind of just like Maniac or anything like that. It's just done in a real new wave kind of way. Music's good, atmosphere's good, visuals insane. You know, it was just an overall enjoyable experience, which shocked me with this movie. But yeah, that's my quick review of Liquid Sky. Anyways, guys, peace.